Hi, Taurus, or anyone watching for Taurus. So this is a reading taking a look at your love life for the month of December. And if you're watching for Taurus, just reverse the roles because it'll feel as though I'm speaking to you about your Taurus. As I'm looking into the energy around the relationships that you've been in or the situations you've been in, I'm seeing that it feels like there was one person who was doing a lot of work, and then there was someone else who was like very particular about the way that they wanted things. But what's weird for what I'm seeing is that the person you're dealing with, it's like they had all these ideas about how things should be, but they didn't really communicate them to you. Okay, so kind of strange because it feels like this person has a lot of expectations, but it's almost like constant trial and error, right? Do they like this? Do they want that? Well, this person wasn't really like defining what it was maybe that they were looking for in a partner. Now, I feel like what the issue here is that you tried so hard to please this person, and you did it from the standpoint of like trying to anticipate what they would like or what they would want, maybe trying to give this person what you would like or you want, and nothing really seemed to satisfy them. If anything, it kind of seems like this person has a tendency to like be very overly critical of your efforts. But then as I'm looking at the rest of this spread, it almost looks like this person had no problem praising other people. Now, the people that it seems like they were kind of giving like that gratification to were people who were doing less than you did, or they were people that didn't really care about this person's approval. So it's almost the energy of like you trying really hard to satisfy this person, maybe going to the gym every day because fitness is important to them, right? And rather than them cheering you on or being like, hey, thank you so much for making something I enjoy a priority, they would like buy a poster of some fitness model whose body in comparison to yours you felt like wasn't even that great. You get what I'm saying? Like there's an energy here of this person never really being happy with what they have, always kind of acting like the grass is greener somewhere else, and then not being satisfied with you. And I feel like you are doing a lot to try to live up to this person's expectation, but then they weren't even willing to tell you what those expectations were. So the hard part about a person who behaves this way, Taurus, is that when they don't clearly define what they want, it's a huge gray area, and it feels like you're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Because if you try to please this person and it's not what they want, they have a reason to criticize you. If you don't try to please this person at all, they feel like you don't care. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm seeing here is that this led you to feel as though this person was always judging you. Now, with what I'm seeing from this person's behavior, I feel like they're overly critical of other people because they're overly critical of themselves. I don't feel like that's something that you would know, but it almost seems like this person has a lot of like really deep-seated negative ideas about who they are. And so rather than dealing with their own stuff, it's almost like they set the people up around them for failure because they feel like a failure and they don't want people around them to feel victorious. And they criticize people and speak to them in a way that is very diminishing, right? Because this person is very critical of themselves. Like, imagine the way that they talk to you, or the way that they talk about other situations. That person says way worse to themselves in private, okay? This is somebody who they really sabotage progress, but they sabotage the people around them. I don't think this is somebody that's comfortable being around people who have a healthy level of self-esteem. And that's kind of sad, because I feel like this is somebody who is very insecure on the inside. If you look at this person's life, you probably view them from the lens of being very smart or being very dedicated or determined. But if you really take off those glasses and kind of look at this person, I don't think they have a best friend. I don't think they have close friends. I don't think this person has a particularly healthy life, right? If you only focus on the person and the way that they treat people and how small they make people feel, this person seems larger than life, right? But if you really look at the rest of their life, you could be dealing with somebody who has not accomplished much in life, but they know everything about everything. You could be dealing with somebody who has very little life experience, but they wrote the book on how to be successful. You get what I'm saying? If you really look at what this person has accomplished in relation to the way this person treats you, you would realize that you were actually the prize in this relationship. Okay. And I feel like that's kind of disappointing because you worked so hard to gain this person's approval. But in reality, like, this person doesn't approve of themselves. So they don't really have approval to give anybody, right? They can't even be kind to themselves or have a kind word for themselves. They're not going to give it to other people because that just flares up their insecurity, right? It's like they kind of have to knock people down so that they can climb over them and get on that throne or that pedestal. Now, as I'm looking into what's bothering you, I feel like the issue with you, Taurus, is that you're trying to figure out why it seems like everybody was so much cooler to this person than you are. Because I see that this was somebody that you were trying to possibly heal. If they had that trauma with the Page of Swords in the reverse, why weren't your efforts good enough? And I feel like this has kind of affected your self-esteem. Because as I'm looking into your questions about the future of your love life, you got the King of Cups. So I hope that you haven't moved into a space of feeling as though you need to change because this person kind of left you feeling exhausted and depleted, right? I hope that you don't move into a space of thinking your efforts weren't enough or you're not good enough to attract the kind of love that you want or that all people behave this way, right? Because there's an energy of you wondering, like, what would I have had to do to make this person love me or accept me? For some of you, this person was always comparing you to an ex-partner. But initially, I feel like when you met this person, if they ever brought up the ex-partner, they didn't even have a positive point of view about that person. Right? So it's kind of weird how one day they like them, one day they don't. But no matter what you do, you don't seem to ever take that person's place. You get what I mean? There's an energy here of you feeling a little bit low in the self-esteem department. Because I feel like when we're around people who are always critical of us or who are never satisfied, our internal dialogue starts to change, right? And we start to kind of think of ourselves as not being enough, needing to do more, falling short, or if only I was more like this person or that person. And I feel like that's kind of how this person gets people, is like they're kind of a cult leader. I'm sorry to put it that way, but it does. It looks like this person kind of brainwashes people into feeling bad about themselves and then spending their life trying to earn this person's approval, right? And if you look in history, a lot of the people who became like massive dictators, they didn't really have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. They just knew how to mentally manipulate people into thinking that they weren't good enough or they didn't know best for themselves, right? So please don't fall into that trap because I'm kind of seeing that this has affected your self-esteem. And it feels like even if you distance yourself from this energy, you're still kind of reeling from the effects of what this person did to you, right? They kind of planted these seeds of doubt about you, right, in your mind. Five of Cups in the reverse for what you really want or what you're waiting for. So for some of you, you felt like the person that you were trying so hard to be with was still very upset about someone else. And you're waiting for this person to get over it so that they can start recognizing you for who you are and all of the good things that you bring into their life. For others of you, I feel as though you've distanced yourself from this person already and you're kind of waiting for them to have the epiphany that what they wanted, they had all along, right? There's also an energy in regards to like your love life where you're waiting for something exciting, right? You're kind of waiting for that either validation from this person or you're waiting for someone else to come along and be like, oh my gosh, Taurus, you are the most amazing person I've ever seen. Now, what I'll say about that, because you got some cards at the bottom of your deck, like Judgment, Eight of Wands, and the Tower in the reverse, is that it's very possible that this person was brought into your life because you really thrive on external validation, right? And so perhaps that was mirrored back to you by bringing you a partner who would not validate anything you did, no matter how hard you tried. And the advice from your higher self is kind of confirming this to me because you got the Six of Wands. So what I'm seeing here is that this relationship came into your life so that you would stop working so hard for people's approval and learn how to validate yourself. And then that way, if somebody treats you this way, rather than you feeling as though it's a challenge to try to win this person over and then feeling really empty when they're not giving you what you want, you can recognize this for the toxic bullshit that it is and be like, this is not worth another second of my time. Clearly, this is a you problem. If you don't see how great I am, you've got some issues, right? All right, Taurus, I'm going to pull you some oracle cards, and then I'm going to take a look in the extended reading because with the Tower in the reverse and the Eight of Wands of Judgment, this is making me feel as though this person was kind of playing a little mind game where they were trying to diminish how great you are with that Six of Wands, because that's how they were trying to get you to not leave, okay? The thing about it, though, is I feel like you don't have the same hangups that this person does, where you don't feel good. So eventually this is going to become something that just doesn't resonate with you and you'll leave because it sucks, right? To feel like you're not good enough. Well, like I was saying with that cult leader mentality, I feel like because this person doesn't feel like they have a lot going on for themselves, they feel they need to kind of brainwash people into letting them be their leader. And when that didn't work on you, I'm seeing that that's causing some issues with this person, right? It's kind of making them feel as though maybe they dealt with this the wrong way, and maybe they should have been more emotionally available and vulnerable with you when they had your attention. All right, so you got Healing Heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. So I feel like your efforts were more than enough. And I feel like you probably attract wounded people because you have a lot of empathy, right? I also feel like Spirit is asking you to work on your heart chakra because sometimes that energetic deficit that we were kind of talking about can start to change the way you view yourself, right? Oh, nice. You got Magnificence. Own your magnificence. The world needs your brilliance and grace. And I could not agree more. So Taurus, I am going to take a look at this person and see what this change is about or what this action is about. I'll put the preview to the extended reading at the end of the video, and the link is in the description box. You have a very good month, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye. But this is almost the energy of like, if I can get the pretty girl or the hot guy to feel bad that I'm not satisfied with their efforts, wow, aren't I cool? Aren't I important? Look how much my opinion matters. So I don't even know what you would call that, right? Like that's just, I don't know if there's a name for that. Put it in the comment section if you know what it is, because I would love to know what that's called, okay? Six of Wands in the reverse for a new action that you can take. So I like this because not only is it talking about you not allowing this person to dismiss you or validate you, it's talking about you no longer caring what this person thinks. Okay? There's plenty of fish in the sea. I feel like, and I'm not huge on comparing people to people because it kind of seems like a mean thing to do, but I feel like if you started to compare this person to other people you know or other people you've dated, you would probably see, for example, maybe this person has been very negative about certain people in your life. Well, if you compare this person to those people, that particular whoever, right? Say you look at your person and you're like, well, this person is always in and out of work. You know, my person is not financially stable. My person is depressed, right? And then you compare them to whoever they're throwing shade on or they're acting super dismissive about. Okay, well, man, they're kind of mean to my friend, but my friend is like a brain surgeon and they're super smart and they have this budding career and actually they just got married last year and bought a house. You will be able to start seeing, right, this person attacks people who threaten them, right? Like, and I mean it in a way of like, they attack people by either being very dismissive or minimizing these people or being like, they're not worth my time, right? They're not worth my attention. Because in reality, if they had to be around those people, they would feel very, very small. Okay.